Welcome to the Nevis newscast for Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. I am Fredicia Liebert. Under the theme, A Purpose-Driven Agenda, Building Our Sustainable Future, Premier and Minister of Finance, the Honourable Mark Brantley, presented the Nevis Island Administration's 2026 budget on Tuesday, December 2nd. During a sitting of the Nevis Island Assembly, the Honourable Minister of Finance moved the first and second readings of the Nevis Appropriation 2026 Bill 2025.
The budget for the upcoming fiscal year 2026 is set at $284.4 million, an increase of 4% when compared to the budget of $273.2 million, which was set for the fiscal year 2025. We have allocated the amount of $203.5 million to recurrent spending, representing 72% of the total expenditure. This is on par with our recurrent expenditure budget of $203.8 million approved for this current fiscal year. Madam President, having considered the expected uptick in economic activity for the upcoming fiscal year, my administration has set its revenue budget and anticipates that it can collect the amount of $175.8 million in recurrent revenue, which represents a modest increase of 7% when compared to the projected revenue of $164.7 million budgeted for the fiscal year 2025. It is no secret that our Citizenship by Investment program has slowed dramatically to the extent that the projected annual revenues have fallen way below that which was realized in previous years. Considering this, we are projecting that our annual share of revenue from the CBI program will fall below the $66 million previously received. To be conservative, we have budgeted the amount of $35 million as a moderate share of revenue from the program for the upcoming fiscal year. Even though we have made this modest projection, we are still hopeful that the actual revenue will surpass this amount, thus providing additional revenues to fund the daily expenditure of government. Madam President, I am to announce that through negotiations with the federal government, an agreed share of 25% of CBI flows will now come to the NIA, realizing the long advocated for position of my government that such revenue be shared on a pro rata population basis. In addition, we expect to receive the amount of $4.8 million in grant funding to supplement our revenue. These remittances of approximately $39.8 million, when combined with our projected revenue collections of $175.8 million as outlined above, will provide a total overall revenue of $215.6 million for the upcoming 2026 fiscal period. When compared to the projected recurrent expenditure of $203.5 million, it provides a surplus on recurrent budget of $12.1 million.
$80.9 million has been allocated for the funding of the Capital Expenditure Program, a 17% increase when compared to $69.4 million that was allocated for the fiscal year 2025.
This increase is due largely to the administration's decision to undertake major rehabilitation and expansion work at the Vance Amory International Airport early in the new year. Funding for these works has already been identified, as outlined earlier in this presentation. Additionally, we anticipate that funding for the capital projects as outlined in this budget will be comprised of capital revenue to be realized from the sale of government assets, accessing low-cost funding once available, and receipt of grant funding from regional and international partners. Therefore, Madam President, a summary of resources projected to finance our 2026 expenditure program is outlined as follows. Current revenue, $175.8 million. Projected minimum revenues from CBI passport processing fees, $35 million. Concessionary loans, $24 million. Capital revenue, sale of government assets, $10 million. Other grant funding, $4.8 million. It should be noted that despite a projected 47% reduction in the revenue from CBI to fund our budget of expenditure for the upcoming fiscal year, our overall projected deficit of $34.8 million is a marginal increase when compared to the budget deficit of $27.8 million for this current fiscal year.
Premier Brantley said the Nevis Island Administration's 2026 budget reflects the government's collective commitment to responsible governance and prudent fiscal management. The Nevis Mango Festival continues to receive international acclaim. The festivities early July include masterclasses, a passport food tour across the island, a supper club with a guest celebrity chef, a bar crawl, plenty of live music, and culinary and mixology competitions.
On November 16th, the Nevis Mango Festival was proudly showcased at the Hook and Harvest event in Anguilla, where our local chef, Aaliyah Keynes, represented Nevis in offering a 10-course dining experience to those in attendance. She prepared a delectable mango-infused entree and dessert that demonstrated Nevisian culinary talent at its finest and invited attendees of the event to the Nevis Mango Festival 2026. The Nevis Mango Festival continues to be one of our strongest cultural ambassadors, elevating Nevis's culinary identity across the region and internationally.
Over the years, the 3-day event has evolved and expanded to position Nevis Mango Festival as one of the region's premier food festivals.
The Nevis Mango Festival continues to receive international acclaim, most recently being highlighted in Forbes as a standout Caribbean culinary celebration. And incidentally, I take it as a badge of honor that I was the minister that introduced the Mango Festival to Nevis. I'm hopeful that whoever comes next will continue to promote that as a premier event, and that years from now, 20, 30 years, this could be one of the biggest events in the region.
Premier and Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Mark Brantley. Still to come.
Now it is our turn to decide what kind of future we will build. In this ever-changing world, one question remains constant.
The details right after this break.
Truly, one of the few places that has an untouched beauty that has captivated the hearts of many. Nevis is everything you imagine.
Welcome back.
What is victory for us? It might not be fame or fortune. Real victory might look like choosing kindness when it is not easy. It might look like using what we've learned to build something better for our communities, our island, our planet, and for each other. How we lead, how we connect, and how we give will define us far more than wealth ever could. Our purpose did not appear overnight. It was built quietly, piece by piece, in late nights, group projects, and setbacks. Every challenge sharpened us, and every lesson added strength to who we are becoming. What we carry now is not just knowledge, but confidence and determination, powerful enough to carry us into the future. Each of us is the architect of our own career journey, whether in science, engineering, teaching, medicine, business, or the arts. Some of us will lead, some of us will serve, some will create, and some will discover. And for those still navigating, remember, purpose doesn't always reveal itself immediately. Sometimes it waits until we're ready to understand. What matters is that we move forward, not driven by pressure or comparison, but by meaning.
Valedictorian of the 2025 graduating class of the Gingerland Secondary School, Balinda Subramani, speaking at the graduation and prize-giving ceremony of the Gingerland Secondary School. Subramani gave words of advice to her peers.
Class of 2025, our time at Gingerland has prepared us well. We carry the values of this school in our hearts. We stand firm because our anchor is strong. Today, our voyage begins, not as students, but as leaders, thinkers, creators, and the citizens of the world. To everyone who strengthened our anchor, thank you. Anchored in gratitude, Driven by purpose and ready to explore new horizons, we are the Gingerland Secondary School Class of 2025. Thank you and bon voyage as we begin this next chapter.
Principal of the Gingerland Secondary School, Kano David, in delivering the principal's report, highlighted the success of the 2025 graduating class.
Our graduates registered to write 25 different CSEC subjects and 4 CCSLC subjects. We returned an overall pass rate of 77.3%, with 100% passes in 13 subject areas.
Principal David also congratulated a few of the top students in the graduating class.
Congratulations to our valedictorian, Miss Belinda Subramani. Our Belinda would have passed 9 subjects with 6 grade 1s. Congratulations, Belinda. Congratulations also to our salutatorian, Miss Blessing Grant. Blessing passed 7 subjects in this year's sitting with 4 grade 1s. Congratulations, Blessing. We have a notable mention of Victoria Jarrett. Will Victoria and her parents please stand? Now, Victoria passed 8 subjects with 4 grade 1s. Congratulations to you and your family. And to the class of 2025, you are defined by your ability to overcome disruption. Don't allow anyone to make your mind or body a junkyard. As you are strong-willed, be strong-minded. Always strive to make positive, beneficial decisions, for your decisions will benefit everyone around you.
Past student of the school, Mia Alexander, was the featured speaker for the morning's ceremony. Also present at the ceremony were Principal Assistant Secretary Jamia Claxton, who delivered brief remarks, and Area Representative for the St. George's Parish, Honorable Eric Evelyn, who made a special award presentation. The patron for the graduation and prize-giving ceremony was Joseph Morton. He presented the students with their certificates, awards, and prizes. The chairperson for the ceremony was Warren Moving. The ceremony was held under the theme, Anchored in Gratitude, Driven in Purpose, and took place on Thursday, November 27th at the Gingerland Methodist Church. That's it for this edition of the Nevis Newscast. On behalf of all of us here at the Department of Information, I'm Fredicia Liebert. Thank you for viewing.